I don't blame them for going after big names, but once you've done that, you've started something. And if you piss these people off, you actually manage to get under their skin, you better watch out for the the whirlwind, because that can take your ass out. Stuff like that happened to who am I thinking of? You guys know who I'm thinking of. You piss somebody off, and then they dox you, and they have all kinds of shit going wrong with you. I can't think of the guy. Kev, the only thing big about Granny is her gas problem. My Granny's dead, man. But you know what my grandma used to do? Funny as hell. So she had this little house in Hampton, Virginia. And it wasn't anything to be proud of. And she would bring my mother into the kitchen, always fooled my mother. And this is when my mother was adult. I was there. This wasn't when she was a kid or anything. And she'd say, I'm going to try to imitate her voice. Betty, would you come in the kitchen for a minute? I just got to ask you something. She'd get my mom in this tiny little kitchen, and she'd turn around and let fly from her ass what could only be described as a 6-megaton nuclear weapon. And my mom always fell for it. She'd wait. See, she wouldn't always do this. She would do it like once because we'd go over every Sunday. So she'd do it like once a month and let fly the fart. And my poor mother stuck there, sniffing the gas from my grandma's behind, could not escape because Grandma would block off the exit to the kitchen. So the only thing you could do there is go out the back door, and that took time to open. So you still got to breathe. So Grandma used to drop the fart bombs on Mom. My gosh. I'm looking at BBC right now. Here we are talking about farts, and it just, I have this thing where when I'm talking about something, I also like to, I like to, if I can possibly just add to it. So there we go. Uh-oh. What's this? Uh-oh. Yeah, I had this before.
I have a bad case of diarrhea.
Yep.
I have a bad case of diarrhea. I have a bad
Yes,
case
I did.
of diarrhea.
You did too.
I have a bad case of diarrhea.
What did you have a bad case of, Latino ladies?
I have a bad case of diarrhea. I have a bad case of diarrhea.
How many
I have a
cases?
bad case
Oh, you're not
of
going to change
diarrhea.
the thing,
I
are you?
have a bad case of diarrhea.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, it takes a little. Got to let it play a little. BBC homepage, I was looking at the news. I'm looking for their U.S. section. And there it is, BBC America. Full schedule, channel finder. That's not what I want. All right, BBC America, pulling it up. Let me read a headline or two to you from BBC, and I want you to realize the difference and what you'll see on a Fox or an MSNBC or a CNN compared to a headline from BBC America, okay? Here you go. 10 British things about Cincinnati, Ohio. Does that sound exciting to you? No. No, it doesn't. A poet in New York. That's coming soon. Then they've got a lot about Doctor Who. My friend Wes Johnson that does some voiceover work for me, huge Doctor Who fan. He's always posting about Doctor Who. I like BBC. You guys never did tell me which news sources you look to when you want to get your news. Do you watch it on cable? KK, quit boring your audience. Barco, I always bore my audience, man. Maybe they come here to unwind. Maybe they don't need constant stimulation of the brain. RD doesn't understand multitasking. He's evolved into a sloth. Do you know the top speed of a three-toed sloth, guys? I'll break the mystery for you. It's about, if I remember correctly, it's about 2.2 miles per hour. Yep. Open the phone lines. You think I'm going to open the phone lines and someone named Prankville? Yeah, that's not good. Because you'll come on and you'll start saying all kinds of nasty things about Debbie Daly, and I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that. I told you new guy for news. Okay, you meant news guy. I'm pretty sure you meant news guy. News guys bitch smacked me a little bit, and that's all right. I don't care. I don't go after people when they do that. You got to really get under my skin. Barco will call in. I know he will. And Prankville is saying, yes, open your phone lines. So, well, the thing about it, Debbie, the reason I was bringing this up is because when you let one person shape your news, you're getting a very refined and, personally constructed view of the news. And that's why I have to look across several sources to appreciate my news, because what I end up doing is cross-referencing and finding flaws in it. And then you got to end up going with, majority rule. So if I got 2 newspapers saying this happened and a third one saying it didn't, I'll probably go with the 2 until I can prove something different. And it's just one of those things. It's 2 a.m. here, not time to think, says Desert Rose. Hell, it's 4:30 in the morning here. I mean, my sleep schedule's anything but predictable. Anything but predictable. I go sometimes 3 days with no sleep and then sleep for a half hour. And then I'll be up for 2 days and then I'll sleep for 10 hours. You just don't know what's going to happen. Sleep is precious, people. If you can get your sleep, get your damn sleep. And just appreciate it. I was reading an article today about, actually it's called 4 Life Hacks from Ancient Philosophy. And this is from Stoicism. If you guys didn't study philosophy, you probably have no interest in this. But I'm going to share it. I'm going to share the actual link in the chat room there, since there's so many people in chat. And it can make you happy if you'll just take these lessons from Stoicism. And the drawback is that Stoicism uses negative to give you positive by contrast. So they'll ask you to think about the worst case scenario. They'll ask you to walk around in the cold without a jacket, so you learn to appreciate warmth. That seems kind of archaic, but it works. And the science is kind of jiving with a lot of the principles and the tenets of Stoicism. So I would suggest that if happiness is an issue with you, take a good look at that article I just shared. Take a good look into Stoicism. There's a lot of links in there for you to read deeper. The 4 points they try to make in this article is, 1, what's the worst that could happen? Imagine it. Just imagine a worst case scenario and you'll find most of your fears were bullshit. I'm trying to scroll with my computer. As if. This is something that psychologist William James actually made fairly popular, at least in America. It was already popular in Europe and other parts of the world. It's about faking it till you make it. So they did all these studies and they found that people that they asked to smile versus to do other things that made them happy, the ones that were asked to smile, whether they were happy or not, were found to be happier quicker. And it's fake it till you make it. Take on the persona that you want to become, and something happens in your brain. There's a backwards relationship. It actually lifts your mood. I will not sit here and smile. I just won't. But they say it works. Make it a treat. This is what I was telling you about. You walk outside without your jacket in the cold, and warmth becomes a treat. And that also plays to your self-control and discipline, willpower. Talk about that. And then 4, it's okay to stumble. If there's any one thing I would share out of this that I think is the most important, make mistakes. Make them all. I've made all the mistakes. I make some of them twice. I don't care. I don't care. I mean, does it bother you? Are you type A? Are you anal when you make a mistake where you just can't forgive yourself about it? Why? Why? Who do you know? Who are you comparing yourself to? What is this perfect person you have in your mind that never stumbles? I got to meet this person. Because if you're comparing yourself to the average person, you're probably average. If you're comparing yourself to a saint, you're probably evil. Who are you comparing yourself to? Well, what is your mark? Have you set it too high? I think humans might have set the mark way too high. Just be happy. It's a decision. I hear you, Debbie, but people that are taking their own lives, they disagree. I was watching a TED Talk by this guy that tried suicide twice. He obviously didn't try hard enough. And he said it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He said, rationally, I knew what I had to be thankful for. Rationally, I knew that I had a potentially great life ahead of me. But what happens is your perception dims, and you get into this little cone. And all you can see is the one solution, death. Because everything out there hurts. And these people that have severe depression, they can't think rationally like you can. They are stuck in a tunnel of very narrow vision, thinking that there's no way to make it through this except to die. That's the solution to end my pain. and they can't think rationally. It can be treated through therapy, it can be treated through medication, but it is not enough for them to just use their own self-reliance on their will to come out of this. This is serious stuff. But I do agree that for people on the border, you should just be able to decide to be happy. Decide that you care about the good things in your life. No, I'm not ready for you to call in, Barco. Not yet. What I will do is I will go ahead and play a couple songs so that Pappy can get his break and refill my coffee. And then when I come back, we will open up the phone line so you guys can all hear the madness that will go underway when Barco starts talking. And madness it is. Now, Apocalypse might call in and level everything back out, because Apocalypse is a god, as you know. Many do worship him. They often show up at the altar with things like tires and, bags of groceries, because they don't know. A new god, you don't know what to give them. So you just bring stuff. I had a dog when I was a kid named Cindy. She would pick up anything in her mouth when I came home from school. Hey, here you go, Kev. It was a popsicle wrapper, but you could probably do like some origami with it. So here's this. I brought it to you. You didn't have to pick it up. I brought it to you. Yeah. So that's what you do when you're worshiping a new god like Apocalypse. Yeah, no hate, please. Yeah, if you guys get on the phone and start screaming obscenities about anybody, I might let you go. Just because it's not that I'm against free speech in any way. I want to hear everything you have to say, but if you're attacking somebody, most days I just don't dig on that too well. So I'll probably cut you off, and I wouldn't want to do that. So what I'm going to do before I play this song is I'm going to toot my own horn one more time. You guys know I don't do this often. I'm playing the drop that was made for me. That includes a couple of highlights from the show, a little input from Guy Shea, Paul Dembski. And I know you guys are picking on Paul Dembski. I don't know why. I like him. I like everybody on Spreaker. Name one person I don't like on Spreaker. What's that? Did someone say Goofy Bone? Well, that's my choice. But name anybody else I don't like. Aha. Yeah. Texas Radio Fish Funk Change will come. That will play after my drop. Do you hear the truth dropping from my faucet? I thought you would. And then we'll play Eno's Advanced Bass Camp, because it's got a kind of a freakishly odd anger to it that I think might help you to vent out some of your own anger without venting at all. See how I think? I'm looking out for you, people. It's you that matters to me. That is that, and because that is that, and this is not that, then here goes
Don't
this.
just tap out. Listen to Truth on Tap. DJ Bad Guy says so.
The Truth on Tap with host Kevin.
How can I say that my show is Truth on Tap if I don't come in here and set you free? Ooh, are we going to talk about some shit tonight? Get your friends in here. Get them in.
Opening up the truth pipeline.
So what's this show going to be? Well, I'm going to set you free. That's what the truth does.
For these bitches.
Truth on Tap.
WesJohnson.com. Check them out. This is crazy. Do you know I love pickles and peanut butter? I cannot get enough of that. Pickles and peanut butter is like an orgasm during an orgasm, if that's even possible. I couldn't imagine the biological possibility of it, yet the fantastical fantasy possibility is quite real.
And I was listening to Truth on Tap with Kevin A. Kierstead last night. He's way too intellectual for me. I mean, I'm no dummy, but this guy, I don't think I can hang with him verbally in just discussing the issues. He's a really smart guy. He does a really good show. It's very professionally done. He's on iHeartRadio. And he was very open.
On Tap.
I am going to uncover the deepest, darkest parts of the human psyche right in front of you.
That's my take on Kevin. He seems like a really nice guy. I do have to read some of his books, or at least one, and move on from there, because both Barco and Apocalypse, or particularly Barco, was really high on the recommendation of Kevin Kierstead's fiction last night on really